Hi, this is the first video on this channel. It's going to be me talking and just generally giving my thoughts on Deltarune before Deltarune chapters 3 and 4 drop. Sort of like a time capsule of sorts, just to give an idea of what I'm thinking about and my general thoughts before, because I just want to have a way to check back on this sort of when the next chapter's drop in like 3 weeks. This video doesn't have a script at all, it's just going to be me rambling for like several minutes, and yeah, so I thought I'd just start and get on with it. There's just gonna be some random footage of me playing Deltarune and getting my save files ready in the background. I'm not sure what's playing right now, I'll decide in the edit, but yeah. So one thing I want to talk about is theories, and some of the theories I've heard and I like and I want to talk about and what I think is going to happen. First of all, I feel like, first of all, I am talking about my words. I think Deltarune chapters 3, well, 3 is obviously going to be in Dreamer House. I was wondering whether it would be in the exclusively in the TV or in like the whole of the Dreamer household. Now, part of me, I really want the Dark World to be in the whole Dreamer household and not necessarily just for TV, but I know probably it will just be in the TV. However, the TV will like be reminiscent, and whatever happens in it will be referencing the Dreamer household and stuff like that and parts of it, which I'm fine with. One thing, as for chapter 4, well, the switch to Deltarune trailer basically confirmed that Deltarune chapters 3 and 4 will be, well, not 3 and 4, but 4 specifically will be in the church probably. So I'm very excited for that. I generally thought that Deltarune chapter that the church wasn't going to be till like a really later part of the game, but I guess not, and it'll be in the game earlier on than I expected, which is quite exciting. But I feel like if the church is happening so much earlier on, I'm pretty sure that basically deconfirms any theory that Alvin would probably end up being some sort of major antagonist, which, yeah, as well, I do think Father Alvin is probably an important character. I highly doubt he's going to be the main antagonist, considering there's just so little about him we know. He's probably going to, I'd assume, be some sort of boss in chapter 3, in chapter 4, I'd assume. That would make sense at least. One thing I do feel like is quite likely is for like the, okay, first of all, Woody theory. Do I think it's gonna happen? I'm kinda doubt it's gonna be a boss. The boss is literally gonna be Woody, but I do think there is going to be a reference to it because it's become such a meme. I feel like it kind of has to become a thing in chapter. It has to be like a reference in chapter 3. One thing in for the Spamton sweepstakes that was the Spamton sweepstakes, the new one, well, same one but updated, was the ROMB room area, which seems to be referencing, I assume, the chapter 3 secret boss. However, I feel like if it's referencing the chapter 3 if it's referencing the chapter 3 secret boss of room, but like womb, you know, what your people are, some people are birthed to like the womb, which honestly kinda more evidence for the friend inside me theory, like, which would kind of be crazy. I feel like it can't be, but also it might. Also, another thing I want to get out of the way, I personally really, really want to see more stuff of Catty in Deltarune, Deltarune Chapter 4, because, like, I mean, it feels like Jockington's also going to be in it, so Caddy's going to be in it. Caddy was mentioned again in Thunder Weeks 2, so it seems likely that Catty is going to be in Chapter 4, so that Catty's going to be in Chapter 4. I'm really, really hoping she's a party member. I really want, like, Caddy, Jockington, and Birdley to all become optional party members like Noelle was. I know a lot of people don't think that's going to happen, and the main trio with Dawn and also occasionally Noelle will probably be the only playable characters, which, yeah, that's probably going to happen. I won't be, like, upset, and as long as they're major characters, it won't be, but it would just be fun having more options for combat. For like combat, just battles, and it's not necessarily combat because it's not necessarily violent ends, but I do feel I just feel like Deltarune could always do with more mechanics. The game is quite mechanically simple, despite the Souls combat system from Undertale. So I feel like adding more party members is always a good idea for more mechanics. Next, but who knows? I just hope there's fun stuff. I mean, one thing about it is when it comes to Deltarune, I really want Catty to come important because I think she's pretty cool. But like my favorite character in Deltarune is Noelle. I just really like her. She's awesome. And Toby Fox, message you. You are nowhere in hell seeing this, but please make Noelle trans. Just please do it. You literally gave her like you basically accidentally made her trans already. So like, come on, do it. Do it. Come on. Like, there's already the lion from, I mean, that one lion character from Undertale who also shows up in Deltarune is basically canonically trans, so I would, just, like, and having a main character like that who's trans would be, like, really, 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 really awesome, and also a lesbian, so, like, yeah, that would be really cool. What else? Other stuff in chapters 3 and 4, the stuff of, like, the weird routes specifically, I completely subscribe to the theory that weird routes are something that can only happen with Noelle's in the party. We're not going to get, like, the chapter 3 theories when chapter 2 first came out, the weird one first came out, like, oh no, we're going to manipulate Toyo and she's going to kill Undyne, which is such a, Chris is going to kill everyone in chapter 2 theory, pre-chapter 2, very funny. One theory that I only watched somewhat recently that, like, is, like, honestly, is, like, not every element theory, but it's something that I completely think is going to happen, is going to be, not completely think it's going to happen, but I think actually makes a lot of sense, is the multiple nights theory, and in every single, not necessarily entry, but, like, basically there is, like, several nights, and that night is a title, not a person, so there's different people for different nights, like how there's the strange, and the different title of the night implies they're different people, like the strange night in chapter 1 and the boring night in chapter 2, and each night is going to a different chapter. Each night, I can't remember off the top of my head what that theory was, or who made it, but I will put it in the description. If I do not and forget, somebody shout at me. Generally, one thing I think is really funny is how, just a compared is how the pink and yellow glasses from Spamton is always associated with a Spamton thing. However, Spamton gets those glasses because they're trying to copy Swatch in Queen's Mansion in chapter 2, so it's technically their thing. But now with, like, the Spam's food sex and everything, it turns out that Friend, who is a separate character, the pink and yellow eye smiling mouth that appears in the second for a chapter replacement, which also appears in Spam's food sex 2, exactly Toby Fox 1 as well, but it's less obvious. Who is basically confirmed to be some sort of cat-like creature now, which is very interesting. I guess the theory it's a Cheshire Cat is basically canon then. One thing I am quite excited, and it's just interesting how those pink and yellow glasses are basically something that have been associated with Phantom, so in fact that's literally been foreshadowing a completely different character that's probably going to show up later on. I assume considering how much is referenced under sweepstakes, they must appear in chapter 3 and 4, but maybe they're not. Also, funny, Deltarune now has like four different mysterious characters who are like secret and creepy, and they may even all be the same person, who knows? Like you have Gaster, then you have Everyman, and then you have a man behind the tree, and now you have Friend. Like, I assume they all probably are related in some form. Like, they have to be, right? Or maybe not, and Toby Fox is being evil. and just being, like, actually all four of these characters are completely unrelated. It's actually, Deltarune, yeah, it's like Chris actually hit a gas pipe at the end of chapter 2, yeah. It's all a dream. MatPat was like white all along. But that's a theory I think is, theories I think are quite interesting. Well, not that theory, that was a joke, but like I was talking about the multiple nights theory. The stuff I think is going to happen. Oh, one thing is like the chess fairy. I feel like chess fairy is something that's not going to have much of a plot relevance. Like, there's not going to be like a reason why each major boss of each chapter is based off chess pieces. However, I do think that it's probably true, because I think that would just be a really cool way of doing each boss, because just like because we had King, because of the simple fact that Queen is a character who has no reason to be called Queen really. That's not her actual name, apart from just another chess piece. The thing with like Mike/Tenor being a criminal or a crook, Wook, and stuff like that, and chapter 4 will be taking place in the church. Bishop, I feel like it's very likely that chess theory will be canon. I don't think there's going to be any like canon reason for it necessarily. I just think it's a cool way to separate the bosses of each chapter. What's next? Generally, this will, like, because once we go to, I feel like chapter 4 will probably have like because each chapter so far has ended on a cliffhanger. I feel like there probably won't be that big of a cliffhanger between chapters 3 and 4, or much like a smaller one. But the ending of the chapter 4 will have a pretty crazy cliffhanger, in my opinion. I do think that there will probably be. I'm interested with especially with the weird routes, because I've seen people online stress the fact, because like one thing that's interesting about Delta, like, because Until had like the genocide route, and like it's not a big problem, but like it's arguably that out of all of the big things Until did, the genocide route is probably arguably the weakest out of everything it did. The genocide route is notable for literally 3 reasons: the Alphys boss, the Sans boss, not Alphys boss, what am I saying? The Undying Unknown boss, the Sans boss, and Kara, which is a sort of haunting the narrative character in any other route, but in the genocide route becomes like an actual character, or at least at the very end they do. So I feel like Toby Fox probably took some of the criticism from that, and in the Snowgrave route, or no, the Weird route. The Snowgrave route is just a fan name route, but for the Weird route, I like the idea that like it's just gonna be really fucked up. Like, not like, oh no, you're killing everyone, like this is making me like physically uncomfortable to play routes. Because making a route that is physically unfun to play it's kinda bad. It's kinda sucks. Which was the idea between a lot of genocide, was it would just be so monotonous to play, you just wouldn't want to do it. But also there's going to be these really awesome boss fights in it, but you have to do a bunch of monotonous grinding to get to them. It's kind of like, it's just a bit weird. But of these, because like obviously, because I recently replayed the Snowgrave route to prepare for Chapter 3 and 4. But yeah, the Phantom boss fight is quite like it's objectively, because like not just Phantom boss fight harder, but it's objectively, well, especially considering I was continuing that the Snowgrave route specifically from like a blank save file just to see what that was like. It does make it a lot harder, not even just Phantom Neo, just the stuff in the Sphancton Mansion, the ultimate version of Queen's Mansion, where Sphancton's in control. It makes just a lot of encounters a lot harder. Like, I died in a non-boss encounter. I don't think I've ever had that before happen in Deltarune Chapter 1 or 2 before. It was just hard. And I feel like it's going to be like, the weird routes are going to be harder alternative versions where the story just gets really fucked up and evil. And Toby Fox will probably be at his doing some really evil fucking things in this route to just genuinely make you feel like a bad person for doing them, but in a better, more well-written way than in the genocide routes. I assumed that for Chapter 3, it would do like a thing with the weird route where in chapters 1, in chapters 3 or 4, in Chapter 3 you weren't really going to be doing anything with it, almost like a calm before the storm, and then in chapters 4 you would end up having a really it would come back to it because Noelle would probably in chapters. But from a certain sweepstakes, obviously that's implying that actually the weird routes will have some effect on Chapter 3, which is quite surprising, but that's cool. That's really, really cool. Okay, quick fire prediction time. First of all, Wolf's card is going to show up in every single chapter. In each chapter, he will have a gimmick, and he'll be dressing up as a different outfit because he was a pirate in Chapter 2. And his games, because he's a Wolves card, he will be his battles will be almost strategy based and almost strategy game based. Well, not strategy game, but just more involved because they had that capturing houses part. He's gonna be a recurring joke character, and he'll be the fucking Minions from Despicable Me, where he's always trying to become the underling of whatever boss is in charge. One thing I want to happen, but I'm not sure is going to happen, is I want Chapter 3 will be less linear and not just a point A to point B. I like the idea I heard of the area, the final area, you're actually going to spawn quite near it, however it's going to be locked and you need to do a bunch of stuff and go to different areas around it, as it's more open design. So instead of just a point A to point B, you'll have to basically unlock that area by doing other stuff. I also heard an idea that instead there'll be you'll have 2 ways you can go. The 2 in it, as my contender, will be 2 different main antagonists, and you'll have to fight both of them, and both of them will have sort of their own dominion areas over the dark world, which is cool. I just really hope that not every single chapter has the same sort of linear path that so far chapters 1 and 2 have followed. I just want more open dark worlds that aren't just have structure and design wise don't work the same way. We know Toby Fox has said that there will be a sort of final third area like Queen's Mansion and King's Castle, but there will be that in chapters 3 because he mentioned he and his team are working on that. So that is quite exciting, but yeah. I don't know how much longer I'm going to talk, but I'm just trying to think of anything else I could talk about. I feel like we're going to learn a lot more about Susie, and also and her home life and what's about her. We're going to learn, we're going to learn more about the Chris Des Azriel Noel incident. Not exactly what happened, but we're going to learn more about it and maybe get a flashback to it. We're not going to learn what's up with Rousey, but Rousey will have some more stuff that makes us intrigue and suspicion built around him. which I am excited for. That probably I expect, like Toby Fox said, Chapter 3 will probably be more light-hearted, except for whatever the weird route version is. And Chapter 4 will probably be a lot darker, a lot more story-focused, and will probably be like where most of like the story meat is it. But like it might have a shorter dark world than Chapter 3, considering it has a long light world segment, so much so that they had to add save points to it. So, but it will be very interesting story-wise, and there'll probably be more mechanics added to the the light world town section than just walking around and talking to NPCs to like sort of like break that up. There won't be combat battles, but there'll be like because I think Chapter 4 light world will probably be whenever the carnival or festival is happening that they talk about in Chapter 2, the end of Chapter 2 if I remember. So we might be able to do like carnival games and stuff, so that would probably be cool. In general, though, I do think this. I'm very, very excited. This is like. I mean, my guess is it's probably going to be like, because I feel like Chapter 3 and 4 combined will probably be longer than Chapter 1 and 2 combined, unless Toby was being 100% like just like straight objectively saying that Chapter 2 is the longest chapter. Like that wasn't like a. That wasn't like him like being vague about it. It is straight up just the longest chapter, which I would be surprised by, but that might be true. So anyway, don't know if I have anything to say. If I'm suddenly like forget it and then remember, I might like go back and I might come back to my second one if I was stupid and forgot stuff, but we've talked more about theories and my own personal ideas, but I'm excited for Deltarune. It's going to be good, it's going to be awesome. Yeah. I think that'll probably be it. If there is anyone watching, or anyone has watched, thanks. Thanks for watching. I will probably, hopefully if I get better at video editing, posting some more interesting videos about other topics. Not sure what exactly, but I am hoping this isn't just going to be a one-done thing where I post this one video and then just never get bothered enough to do another one because I am lazy. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you're as excited for Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 as me, and I will probably hearing of me after it comes out, and I'll probably make an even longer video ranting about everything and just splurging on the internet about it. That's not quite really splurge. Whatever. Bye!